Impacts of climate change on Kenya have left the country firmly in the grip of the worst drought in 40 years, leaving millions on the brink of starvation as drought persists. Well, to save lives, the government has been forced to return to the drawing board and find new ways that not only put food on the table, but also ensure future resilience against climate-related shocks. A key proposal by President William Ruto is to invest heavily in food production, more so irrigated farming, to move away from dependence on rain-fed agriculture. But how exactly is this ambition being executed? Melita Oletenges went to Bura and Hola irrigation schemes and found this report.
Tana River County, home to Bura and Tana irrigation schemes. Bura was established in 1978 and Tana, the oldest irrigation scheme in the country, was established in 1953. The magnificent Tana River flows in stillness, but feeds the thousands of acres under irrigation in Bura and Tana irrigation schemes. The gazetted irrigation area for Bura is 12,000 acres. The main crops are rice and maize. The area under irrigation is 10,000 acres, and the number of household farmers is 2,245 farmers. The gazetted irrigation area for Tana or Hola irrigation scheme is 12,630 acres. The main crops are rice and maize. The area under irrigation is 5,000 acres and the number of household farmers is 1,450. In 1989, the Tana irrigation scheme collapsed after River Tana, its sole source of water, changed course. But 13 years ago, the scheme was revived and is now thriving. The rice paddies are continuously yielding, much to the joy of farmers. They sing in joy of high yields and returns on investment. Nancy Wanjiko is among hundreds of farmers who have moved from Mwea irrigation scheme to try their luck 500 kilometers away in Tana irrigation scheme.
Hapa nafurahia, naweka nasari ya mchere kwa mwezi mmoja. Halafu natoa kwa nasari naweka kwa shamba. Saa hii ndio naweka kwa shamba. Na itakaa tu kwa muda wa miezi 3 napata mazao. Nitapata pesa. Nimepata tu niko na miaka mingi lakini sijapata faida yenye nimepata hapa. Hapa stoki. Hapa niko kabila ingine lakini marafiki zangu wote, hao wote wako huku ni rafiki zangu. Na hatuna neno na wao. Tunaendelea tu vizuri sana. Kuomboka ni mchele mzuri sana. Hata sitaki variety ingine. Hii iko sawa kwa kulisha watu. Kwa eka moja unapata 30. Huko kwingine unapata 20 ama 10 na kitu. Si unaona hapa? Ni mahali pasuri. Maji iko sawa, kilimo iko sawa, hakuna matatizo. Tuko sawa sana. Na hii kilimo hata tungeomba ingalau tupewe borea na tufadhiliwe na wakubwa.
Tana was once known for cotton farming, but together with Bura irrigation scheme, they are now the new frontiers of rice farming in the country. There are 2,000 acres under rice farming in Tana irrigation scheme and 2,200 acres of rice in Bura irrigation scheme. Komboka rice variety developed by the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, is planted here. Komora Jilo tells me rice farming is the new gold for farmers here.
Faida ya kwanza ilikuwa na pesa nzuri sababu nimeuza kilo shilingi 70, lakini kwa saa hii bei iko chini, imerudi mpaka nikauza mara hii ya pili nikauza kwa shilingi 59 kwa kilo. So ile nimepata kama 1,500,000, lakini kwa juzi hii ambayo nimevuna imekuja tu kama 110,000 hapo. Kwa hivyo nimeona iko na faida.
Kama kuna mashamba iko smart ni hii. Unajua ni virgin. Sasa haijalimwa sana. Inatoa mazao mazuri sana. Tena hata mchele yake inakupea faida. Faida kubwa. Si eti faida kidogo, inakupea times 2 ya bishori ya uko Moya. Na ni kweli, na ndio maana nimekaa.
In terms of incomes, the farmers are very happy. And we believe this one is a game changer. We can only see us going up and up. And this will open even an opportunity now for expansion of more acreage to be put under rice farming.
But even as farmers report high yields in the rice paddies, Kenya still imports more than 600,000 tons of rice every year, with an estimated value of 31 billion shillings. This accounts for 1.44% of total import flow of goods to Kenya.
Hii nguvu tunatoa hapa, mchanga tunashinda hapa. Tena ingine inatoka huko inakuja kuangusha hii mchele yetu. Hii ndio malisho mazuri. Tena ni mzuri sana na inasaa vizuri. Acha afunge hiyo isiingie hapa. Watatukata mguu ndio tusiweze kuingia kwa matope. Sababu unajua nguvu inatoka na mfuko, lakini mfuko ikibaba tuko sawa. Hiyo ifungwe tafadhali. Hata wakati nilisikia imefungwa kabei ilikuwa sawa. Lakini saa hii ni kubabanya tu, unababanya na kasi, unababanya na hiyo kuuza. Lakini kama saa hii ningekuwa nafuna, napata pesa hapa. Sintaendelea wenye hawana, nawapea hata ukiwauliza hawa, sikulangi peke yangu.
Good thing with Bura now, we have introduced rice farming there. And as a country, you know, we still have a big deficit in terms of rice consumption in this country. We are still importing so much. The total requirement in a year in this country is about almost 500 metric tons. But what we are producing as a country is just a mere about 200 metric tons every year. So we are trying also to see whether now, with that in mind, we'll be able to go a long way in terms of bridging this gap.
The ambitious plan by the government to invest heavily on food production is a burden that weighs heavy on the National Irrigation Authority.
We have only managed to put a mere 560,000 acres under irrigation. The total potential in this country, as it stands now, it can go up to 1.8 million acres, which we can put under irrigation.
So how will more land be brought under irrigation, and what is the cost?
We have identified as National Irrigation Authority about 18 dams, which are big potential of putting the whole of the 1.8 million acres under crop. We can start with the Galana Dam. You are aware His Excellency gave a directive that within the next 6 months we should bring on board and find ways of bringing on board investors who are going to do the Galana Dam. Galana Dam alone will put about 350,000 acres under production in Galana. We have also gone and prepared other projects under the same model of Galana Dam. This is Lowat Dam in Turkana. If we do Lowat Dam, we can put about 50,000 acres under production. Another dam is Radat. We can open an additional 10,000 under irrigation. We also have Adoshi Dam in Embu, which can put an additional 15,000 acres under production. You are aware we recently completed the Dhiba Dam, which of course now we are able to put around 35,000 acres under production in a season, about 70,000 acres under production in a year. The total budget requirements in this financial year by the authority was 23.8 billion Kenya shillings. Based on the sector hearings, now what is progressing, we have been given about 7.1 billion Kenya shillings. So you can look at that deficit between the requirement and what is available now in the budget. So that's why I'm saying that to bridge that gap, now we need the private investors to come on board and be able to support irrigation. To be where I want to be this particular financial year, I want 23.8 billion Kenya shillings. But I have 7.2 billion Kenya shillings. So you can look at that, and that's why I'm telling you the only way now to go is to tap into the is the private money with the private investors in the market.
Irrigation is an expensive venture. At the Tana irrigation scheme, over 5,000 acres of land under irrigation depend on a pump-fed system from the Makere intake. And at the Bura irrigation scheme, 12,000 irrigable acres of land depend on a pump-fed system at the Korakora intake. Diesel generators are used here, with millions of shillings incurred every month. But a gravity intake in Bura irrigation scheme under construction is set to expand the land under irrigation to 25,000 acres through a 76-kilometer canal to supply water throughout the scheme.
We will be able to expand, one, because we'll be able to get more water delivered at the scheme. The gravity will be able to give us 11 cubic meters per second. If you compare with 3 cubic meters per second, we'll be able to add additional acreage under production.
If you look in the whole country, this project as is conceived now, abstracting 11 cubic meters of water is the biggest.
The potential in Bura and Hola irrigation schemes is yet to be fully achieved. Other crops such as sunflower, maize, green grams, watermelons and even bananas thrive here. It could potentially offer employment to thousands of Kenyans. Hundreds of locals make a living from casual labor in the farms.
Hawa wote unaowaona hapa, kila mtu anategemea kibarua kusaidia familia yake, sababu hana uwezo wa kushika shamba ya skimu. Shamba skimu ni kulipia tinga, ulipie maji ndio uingie kilimoni. Na sasa hana uwezo wa kulipia pesa ndio aingie kilimoni. Ndio unawaona wanajisaidia na kibarua pole pole.
Different kinds of crop, we can be able to have a continuous rotation without having to have a very long period of fallow period where we leave the land without any crop. So we can be able to optimally utilize the land which is available and also the water resource.
For the government to achieve food security in the country, much is expected to be done in infrastructure development, in major irrigation schemes to expand land under irrigation. Tana and Bura irrigation schemes are proving to be among potential expansion areas in rice production and other crops. The exodus of farmers to the far-flung Tana River County, revealing the untapped opportunities that could turn around the narrative of the ravages of hunger in the country. Hola and Bura irrigation schemes in Tana River County have been condemned in the past as unproductive and good for nothing. But the rice paddies here tell of a different story. The rice is flourishing here and farmers are reaping bumper harvests, turning around their economic fortunes. They claim that this is the new food basket in the country, able to address the increasing demand of rice in the market, in the country and beyond. Melita Oletenges, NTV, in Bura irrigation scheme, Tana River County.